Good morning, children. This is class 11th physics. We are doing chapter number 10, that is mechanical properties of fluid. Today we are going to start with variation of pressure with depth. So, children, here we can see that this is a container, and in the container we have filled some fluid, and this is the cross section of that. In this we have considered a cylindrical water element. This is not any object that I have placed in it. This is just water only. In water only we are going to suppose this cylinder, right? So let the density of this liquid be rho, and we are considering here this cross sectional area and this cross sectional area over here. Let this be called as A, and let this we will call it as B, right, children? Now let the height between these two, or height of the cylinder, be h. H is the height of the cylinder, and the area of this cylindrical element, or the area of this base, let the area of both the base be capital A. Right, children? So here this is a cylindrical water element. The height of the cylindrical water element is h. The area of the base of the cylindrical water element is A, and the density of the liquid is rho. Now, as the liquid is at rest, so children, we will say that the downward force will be equal to the upward force, right? Now, suppose children, here the pressure at A, B, the pressure at ABP, right? And we know the weight will be acting in the downward direction, that is mg. And the pressure on the base B will be PB. Right, children? Now, here if we see in vertical direction, the downward forces are these two. These two are the downward forces. So, force is what? Pressure equals to force upon area. So, force is pressure into area. So, if we talk about this, the pressure is PA and the area of the base is A, right? And one more downward force we are having, that is mg. So plus mg will be equal to the upward force. So pressure is pb and area of the base is a, right? So this is your total downward force, this is your upward force. So total downward force is equal to total upward force as the fluid is at rest, right? The resultant vertical forces is equal, right? The resultant vertical forces will balance each other, right? Now what we are doing, we are just going to bring this pb on this side. So what it will become, or rather let us bring PA that side. So if we bring PA this side, it will be PB dot A minus PB PA dot A. If we take A common, it will be PB minus PA, and A can come in division in other side, that will be mg by A. Now children, here we are multiplying by h. H is the height of the cylinder in the numerator as well as in the denominator, right children? Now, this is mass upon area into height. Now we know area into height is volume. So mass upon volume, we know it is density. And as the density of the liquid is rho, we are going to write instead of M upon AH, we can write the density rho. So it is rho GH, right? So the difference in the pressure, that is PB minus PA, is equals to rho GH, where rho is the density of the fluid, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and H is the difference or the height between the 2 points. Right, children? So this is for fluids at rest. Now here we are having a very short numerical over here, that this is some container given to you, and at this point A, the pressure is 10 to the power 6, and you have to find the pressure at B, and the height is given to you. So children, now you know PB equals to PA plus rho GH, and it is water given to you, and we know the density of, we need to find rho GH. Rho density of water is 1000, G we will take it as 10, and height is given to you 200. So it is 2 into 10 to the power 6 Pascal. So if we keep it over here, 2 into 10 to the power 6 Pascal, and PA is given to us 10 to the power 6. So if you add them, you are going to get 3 into 10 to the power 6 Pascal. So this is the variation of pressure with the depth. Right, children? Let's proceed to the next topic. And here we are going to learn about the absolute pressure, the gauge pressure. So what is absolute pressure? So children, absolute pressure is the total pressure at a point, right? And gauge pressure, that is the difference between the absolute pressure and the atmospheric pressure. So now we know the value of atmospheric pressure, right children? 1.013 into 10 to the power 5. Okay, so the difference between the absolute pressure and the atmospheric pressure is your gauge pressure. Absolute pressure will be always be greater than, or it will be equal to 0, right? But gauge pressure, it can be positive, negative and 0, but absolute pressure can never be negative, right? The difference can be negative. The gauge pressure can be negative. Let us study more about the gauge pressure. Suppose here if we see children, this at point A, as it is exposed to the air, so the pressure acting at point A will be P atmosphere, that is 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal, right? Somewhere at point B, which is at height h from the point A. If we want to find out the pressure, then we know the formula PB equals to PA plus rho GH. Right? So if we find out here rho GH, the rho GH is going to give you the absolute pressure. Right, children? And the difference between the absolute pressure and the atmospheric pressure, that is your gauge pressure. Okay, so this is about your gauge pressure. Let's move further. This is your hydrostatic paradox. Right. Hydrostatic paradox. Here you can see in this that we are having three different vessels. The different vessels are of different shapes. This is very thin. This is bigger than that, and this is the biggest one. And their shapes are different, but they are having the same base area. Their base area is same. Now, what we are doing? We are filling the same liquid and up to the same height. Now, as we all know, children, that the pressure, it depends upon rho GH. Rho is the density of the fluid. Now, as the fluid is same, density will be same. G, acceleration due to gravity, as all the three vessels are on the same planet. So G, they are at the same place. So G will be same for all the three containers, that is A, B, and C, right? And height, as you can see, the height of the liquid in all the three containers is same. So pressure in A and pressure in B and pressure in the container C will be equal, right? Their pressures will be equal. So here you can see that this hydrostatic pressure, it does not depend upon the shape of the container. It does not depend upon the cross-sectional area of the container, Right, children? It is independent of the amount of liquid. It only depends upon is the density of the liquid, acceleration due to gravity, and the height of the liquid that is filled in the container. The next is, children, atmospheric pressure. So atmospheric pressure, we know that is the pressure of the atmosphere. The pressure of the atmosphere at any point. The pressure exerted by the atmosphere, the gases, layers above us, is your atmospheric pressure. The value of atmospheric pressure, we know it is 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. There are other units also to measure pressure. One, we know this is 1 atmosphere, right? Another unit is bar, and one more unit we are having, that is torsillion or torr, right? So 1 atmosphere is 1.01 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal, which is equal to 1.01 bar, and that is equivalent to 760 torr. Right, children? These are the other units of measuring pressure. Now, here we are going to study about a barometer. Now, barometer, children, it is an instrument which is used to measure the atmospheric pressure, which is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. So what we are going to do here, children? Here we are going to take a glass tube. This is your glass tube. We are going to take a glass tube of uniform area of cross section, and we are going to fill it. Suppose here we have taken mercury. We are going to fill it with mercury outside. Then we will put our thumb on the open end and we will invert it into this beaker, which is filled with mercury. And then you are going to remove your thumb, right? You are going to remove your thumb, and the tube open end will be inside the beaker, which is containing mercury. So children, you will see that the mercury in the tube will fall down at first, and then it will stop at a particular position. ये जो level है, this level of mercury, it falls down, but it will stop at a particular height. And this height was measured with scale, and it came out to be 76 centimeter. Right? 76 centimeter was the height of this part of the part, right, children? Above the 76 centimeter, above it in the tube, there was no mercury. The mercury had flowed down. Right, children? Now, let us suppose 2 points. The points are point A and point B. Now, as point A and B, they are at the same height, right? That is 76 centimeter, right? Now, this point A is exposed to air. So the pressure at A will be equal to the atmospheric pressure, right? So PA is equals to P atmosphere. Now let's talk about pressure at point B. So pressure at point B will be equal to the rho gh, that is the density of mercury, into the acceleration due to gravity and into the height of the mercury, that is rho gh. But as these 2 points A and B, they are at the same level, so PA will be equal to PB. So P atmosphere will be equal to rho GH. And here the pressure of the empty space above the tube, where we have considered it to be vacuum, because there is no mercury over there, right? There is some negligible amount of mercury vapors, but we can consider it to be an vacuum, right? And this vacuum is known as torricellian vacuum. So vacuum pressure, we know it's 0. So FB mein it is rho GH plus 0. So PATM is equals to rho GH. So with this, we can measure the pressure at point B. Yes, children, and with this, we found out by substituting the value of rho, that is the density of the mercury, which is 13.6 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. G, we will put it as 9.8 meter per second square. And height, we know it is 76 centimeter, which is 0.76 meter. Substitute the value of these in rho gh, and we will find the value of pb as 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. So this is your atmospheric pressure. So children, instead of mercury, suppose we take water. Right? Why we have not taken water? Because children, if we take water instead of mercury, then this height, it comes out to 10 meters. And practically handling a 10-meter long apparatus to measure the atmospheric pressure is not possible. So for that, we are using mercury over here. Next is children, your Archimedes principle. Next is your Archimedes principle. Now, in Archimedes principle, we have studied in class 9 that when an object, it is immersed either wholly or partially in any liquid which is at rest, then that object will lose some of its weight. How much weight will it lose? The loss in the weight, or it will experience an upward force. The loss in the weight will be equal to the weight of the liquid that is displaced by the immersed part of the body. So suppose here in this experiment, this is an object of 5 kg. When you are inserting it into the beaker, some water gets displaced and it gets collected over here. That is 2 kg of water. So 2 kg, if we find out the weight is m into g. So that is 2 kg into g. If you take 10, that is 20 Newton. Right, children? So it is going to lose some weight. And here, how much was the weight? Weight was 5 into 10, which is 50 Newton. Initially, the weight was 50 Newton, and 20 Newton weight it will lose as it is inserted into water, and its weight will be merely 30 Newton. So it has lost some weight, and the loss in the weight is equal to the weight of the liquid that gets displaced when we had immersed the object into the liquid. So this is your Archimedes principle. And when you are immersing an object into the liquid exerts an upward force on the object. So that upward force which is exerted by the liquid on the object is the upthrust, or it is also known as the buoyant force, and it is opposite to the weight of the body. Weight of the body force acts in downward direction and upthrust acts in upward direction, right? So what is upthrust? Upthrust is the upward force exerted by whom? Exerted by the fluid on the object which is immersed in the fluid, and which acts in the upward direction, and it is opposite to the weight of the fluid, and it acts along the center of gravity of the displaced fluid. So this is your buoyant force, and its unit is Newton, same as the unit of the force. Next, children, we are going to prove the Archimedes principle. So Archimedes principle, we know it was given by the scientist, that is Archimedes, and he gave us the formula to calculate the buoyant force, the magnitude of the force.